Welcome to Rangers Radio on the Matchday show, the world's one and only unique live phone-in show for Rangers supporters all over the world. Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Hello, good evening and welcome back to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here back in the show after a Rangers victory of Rangers 2, St Mirren 1 at Ibrox. There's your Robert. Evening, Robert. Did you enjoy that?
Evening, mate. I did indeed. Wee bit nervy at the end, but overall, enjoyable. 3 points, which not to like.
I made some decent stuff, but made it harder than it should have been. Mate, when it was 2-0 up, I said, well, I think I've more chance of getting the 3-0 than your 2-1, but you ended up getting it right, mate.
I see some panel members on here get things right. Unlike South Seas Super 6.
How did that go, mate?
Not well. Try
All
again
right,
next year.
All right, okay. So let me just... just quickly. 3 out of 6, was it?
Oh, I need to check, mate. If you give me 2 minutes, I'll check.
Okay, right.
Time you go through the game.
So I'll go back to the game, mate. I thought we started reasonably well with a decent tempo. But again, the criticism will be we had enough of the ball in forwards areas. We weren't creating a lot. I thought we were coming down the left-hand side reasonably well. Gassman and Tav won in the game much. But we didn't make enough chances. You're thinking, you've got to make more chances. They come into a bit, and then we get the goal, mate. A well-worked corner. I think it was our second or third corner. What concession? A short one. Decent cross in and a nice finish by Asgard. But if you get time, watch it back, mate. And I've got to question the position. I watched it again after the game there when it finished. Not going to go at the set piece coach, but our centre forwards go to in a different place. Have a look back at it, mate, and you'll maybe see what I'm talking about. So we get to go 1-0 up, and I think we deserved it. With the piece in the first half, just shaded it, mate. Second half started. It was each day. St Mirren started better than us. First 5 minutes, we slowly got a foothold in the match, played some okay stuff, and then we get the second goal. Big Chamiti, who I actually thought was arguably our best player tonight, bizarrely, without scoring a goal, but he put a lovely close in, and Big Fernandes comes in and scores another goal, mate, after he'd been whacked in the face in the run up to the ball breaking free at the back post. And again, it worked out for Chamiti, but I question his position as a goal scorer, where he was at the corner kick. Anyway, we 2-0 up, and I'm thinking, go on, get a third and maybe maybe going, because the third goal just sucks teams, mate, and you can go and get a 4 and a 5th. But it never happened, and then we gave away a penalty. I've got to say, I thought it was quite soft, mate. I thought it was quite soft, I'm a traditionalist, I like traditional, deliberate handball. I just think the ball hit his horn, penalty kick. So Butland does what he does now, saved another penalty kick, mate. A big moment in the game for us. Then we changed things, and Tav is a mad 5 minutes. He hadn't been in the game a lot, and then he gave the ball away about 3 times in succession. Butland should have never gave him the ball, and missed controls at trying to beat the guy. End up we gave away a corner, and for the corner they scored when there was absolutely no reason to do it. Just Butland, play the ball long, move the whole team up apart and take the pressure off. Then we're hanging on. We seen the game out in the end. It was nervy, but we get the victory, mate, and obviously the results elsewhere give everybody a lift. Your thoughts?
You summed it up perfectly, mate. Just on the south side one quickly, it currently is 3 out of 6 currently. So that tells you the story. No, you're right, mate. I thought we started well. Good intensity to the game, good urgency. As much as we didn't create anything, really, it was just a signal of intent of how we were going to approach the game. we asked for that kind of fast, direct approach, which we did do. The goal I liked, the first goal, just a variation of corners. Magoma puts in a good delivery first, which is then defended well by St Mirren. Then a bit of a variation playing it short, changing the angle. And Asgard, bit of good movement from him, peels away from his defender. Nice header into the goal. All the kind of powers and the crosses for itself, so it just needs a contact. For the second goal, you're right, Charmity. I will watch it back, mate, and see his positioning. But again, I thought he put a great shift in. Arguably his best game in a jersey for us. I mean, I'll eat humble pie here and say he doesn't hold the ball up well. Pre-show, he held up pretty much everything the night. He got stuck in, was making good runs. Puts in a good wee ball in, obviously, for Fernandez, who, remarkable, that's his fourth goal, mate. Is that him joint top goal scorer now? Fourth?
Must be getting close, mate. Must be getting close.
But I agree that Butland's big save, very big moment with the penalty. I don't think it was a penalty. I mean, I've seen that Willie Collum show, and I've seen him say that they are mistakes because he's bringing his arm back into his body, and that's what I've seen. And that's I can't really.
We won the game tonight, but I thought the ref got everything wrong for people getting off the park. He blew the whistle, and I think Big Chamiti was doing with a head knock, mate, and we had the ball, and then he gave it back to St Mirren, mate. You know, and then the substitution when the guy runs on the park. When he runs on the park without permission, what happened to Aaron's in Europe? Booking, automatic booking, mate.
I think the commentators on Rangers TV said that referee had only done his first Premier League game at the tail end of last season, so he's not got a lot of experience, that referee, and he's obviously been getting the game for us tonight. But that doesn't account for errors and mistakes you're making at kind of grassroots level. It just shows the difference between European officials and the ones we've got in charge up here. So, but no, we obviously don't want to be talking about referees, mate. I thought overall majority dominant performance by the squad, some good individual performances. Would have been nice to get the clean sheet. I do agree. I think it's avoidable, the goal again. Just hook it long. You're not going to concede when it's 40, 50 yards up the other end of the pitch. Puts yourself under pressure a wee bit for the last 10, 15 minutes. Quite nervy, but no, I thought it was a better performance in terms of urgency, getting the ball wide, moving it a bit faster at times as well. And ultimately, mate, it's 3 points on the board, and as you said, results elsewhere. Puts us in a good position going into the weekend.
Well, a position that we never thought we'd be in, mate, if we're really honest. Yeah, you hope. I'm just going to look and see what the league table was when Danny Rule came into the club, mate. And the fact that we are talking about anything is remarkable considering the season we had. You know, we've lost to the top team twice, mate. By the way, you could put an argument up that we shouldn't have because of the circumstances, yeah. But that's refereeing again, arguably, at times, mate. And then you've got the game at Ibrox, mate. You know, the first goal shouldn't have stood, and goals change games. So, well, people are going on about we've had a couple of breaks. Yeah, we have. But we've had a couple of badgings as well. So we're back in the hunt. After another bad result, just 10 days ago, mate, and we're back in the hunt again, mate. Remarkably, yeah.
It's just the way the football works. It's one defeat doesn't mean it's over. It shows you that teams in this league can beat others, and you've just got to focus on ourselves and win the games that's in front of you. Results elsewhere will take care of themselves. Of course, you always keep an eye on it and see what it's going to do, especially lead up to big games in Old Firms as well, particularly. But as long as we keep winning, mate, and again, it's a position that when we first appointed Danny Rule, we didn't think we'd be in, and then even a few supporters out there after the Hearts defeat thought it was gone as well. That opportunity we didn't capitalise on. But again, we're back in the position we're in because we've got wins when it mattered. But now we've got to go again on Saturday and do the exact same and get 3 points and really make a statement going into a double header against Aberdeen as well.
Mm-hmm. Aye, mate, aye. Oh, it's mental, mate. I mean, I'm not saying we're the finished article, but we've come back strongly, and it just shows you what a mistake Russell Martin was, mate. Yeah, and people will be shaking their head when you mention that name now.
No, I know. Hindsight's a great thing. You can sit and wonder, what if Daniel was ever given the job in the summer, which I don't think he'd have been appointed in the summer. I don't think Russell Martin should have been appointed either, but you cast your mind back to what ifs and how it would have played out. But we're in a position now that we can go and get right back in this. Again, many people thought we were never going to be there. We're in it. We're coming up to a January transfer window. We can hopefully get a few bodies out, a few bodies in, and it could be a completely different turnaround at the start of the year, depending on obviously who's available, how games go for ourselves first and foremost, and then other results will take care of themselves, as I said. But you've got to kind of just look at it, mate, and think it's another opportunity that we've got to take. One game at a time, it's the old cliche, but we've come up against 2 games in short space of time, came with 6 points, and let's go and make it 9 on Saturday.
Aye, mate. Aye. You know, we just have to keep winning, mate. Keep winning. You know, and we've got ourselves in a situation where we're now frustrated that we never drew at Tynecastle, mate. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Aye, you could pick a lot of games with your frustration. Tannadice, Tynecastle, home to Falkirk, where we've dropped points. You can look at games like that and think they could have been wins, or at least obviously Tynecastle maybe a draw if you're lucky to get something from the game, where the way the performance went. But you just got to look at the table for what it is and where we're at, mate. And we've done well. We've got to give the players and Danny Rule credit. We can come on here and criticise what we see, but when it matters, and we've got to praise when it's needed. There's points on the board.
Listen,
We're
I
not
thought
creating many mistakes.
you're right, mate, and I think the praise, we played some decent stuff. But if I've got a criticism on the manager tonight, I think he had to have players ready. I thought Shanitri had run his race, even though he'd done one good run after it. Mikey Moore had run his race to me, and Asgard had disappeared in the second half, mate. So you've got to be switched on. That's part of your job as a coach. And for me, the substitutes came a wee bit late, and the momentum was swinging in that period, mate. Yeah, swinging in that period. And we were just a bit late in getting fresh legs on. That's just an observation of mine, mate. Yeah, just an observation.
You could see the kind of momentum shift as well, particularly when we made the changes at the back, going to the 5 with Ben Ciala coming on as well. We started to kind of look not out of shape, but there just seemed to be a wee bit of a drop off in terms of just understanding and knowing positions. And St Mirren kind of tried to put their impact on the game going forward, obviously trying to get back in the game. But we saw it out. That's the most important thing. And as I said 2-1, so I took any result, but it's a win. That's the most important thing, mate. And it puts us in a good stead going into the weekend. We'll have players coming back in. You have Sterling, Barron will be fit, ready to start again. You might have Miovski fit as well. And you never know. You don't know if you have a body or 2 in before then. You never know.
Aye. Where do you stand in that? I know people have done it, but come in and started. Where do you stand in modern football about throwing somebody in?
If you're good enough, you're ready enough. I understand people come in and go, they've not had a lot of training time with their players, they're still getting to know people, but you look at Gassama and Antman this season, they came in, get flung straight in, and that's when they looked at their best, if I'm being honest. With not a lot of time on the training ground, but I can understand as well the magnitude of the game, that if they come in, they might not be no start, but any player you're bringing in, you're meant to be bringing them in to improve the squad, and we all said we need starters, so if they come in and they start and they do well, then it works well. If they don't, then obviously you question things, but we're in a position now, mate, there's a wee bit of a feel-good factor again, getting these 2 victories back-to-back, and you go in with a bit of momentum into the game, especially with the result across the road as well.
All right, we get the phone lines opened.
Absolutely. I'm sure there's happy bills out there.
Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Russell Martin had 7 league games, mate. One win, 5 draws, mate. 1 defeat, yeah. So 8 points in the first 7 games. That's where we were sitting.
Remarkable, isn't it? Remarkable. It just shows you what a wee bit of confidence can do in the squad as well. As again, credit to Danny Rule to get something out of these players who, again, we've come on here and we've criticised, and a lot of them have been, rightly so, been criticised for performances and attitudes. But this is the same group of players that have went and got us back in this position again that we're in, to go and maybe do something in the second half of the season.
Aye. It's just swung. That's obviously we've now played the same amount of games as Hearts, and we're 6 points behind. But just come back to the Knights game, I thought Fernandes was losing possession at the start, maybe being a bit lackadaisical, and grew into the game, got a wee bit better. Obviously, got the goal, but obviously put a shine. Suter played well right up to his pass at half time, mate. He put us under pressure. Oh, yeah. I thought young Magoma showed a great energy all night, but sometimes the defending, you see his lack of physicality, mate. And Tav had a quiet game till that mental period in the second half when he had a mad 5 minutes, mate. In the midfield, I thought Raskin was a pick of the bunch. Obviously, Asgard gets the goal. Young Moore done some good things. You see his technique's brilliant, but he just had a tendency to hold on to the ball too much. I thought Asgard disappeared. Diamonde, he'd arguably, and this is a very low bar, his best game for a while for him, his performances this season. I thought the gas man was quiet, but I thought Sharmiti did his best game in a Rangers jersey, mate. And by the way, I'm not saying Diamonde was great, mate. What I'm saying is he's better, his best game this season, mate, by a very low bar, yeah. So the subs come in, they didn't influence it that much, mate. Connor showed some energy at times. Barron's just does what Aaron's does, mate. And the rest of the boys just helped to see the game out, yeah. And Salah made a couple of interceptions when he came on. It was an inexperienced centre half pairing. Well, Tab was meant to be there, but he caused them more nerves than they needed to have. Butland, well, saved the penalty and not a bad performance. He even had a great save for the goal, mate. But I couldn't understand my defending set up there again, mate. I really couldn't, you know. But the thing is, once we've took off some of our players, mate, we then become a smaller team. That's just the way I see it, mate. Everybody sees it different.
I can't disagree too much with that, mate. I thought Suter played pretty well. As you said, that kind of passed near the end of the first half. I actually think he got fouled as well in the second half. I know they put it down to he was out muscled, but I think he was actually fouled in my opinion. But overall, I thought coming back from injury, only playing some minutes at the weekend and then getting 80 minutes in his leg tonight, I thought he done pretty well. Quite commanding as well, coming up for aerial balls and things. Fernandes seems to be just this centre back that he thinks he'll stroll it. I think that will come with maturity and time, that he'll not get away with it all the time. He's got the ability and the confidence to run out with the ball, but I'm not a big fan of it myself, mate. And it's one of the ones, as soon as he gets dispossessed, you're under pressure. But he's got the confidence to do it. But again, I think it'll just come over time, maturity and things. The 5 minutes for Tav that you're talking about, that worried me, because at that point he was meant to be right centre half, and he was further up the park than our wingers, and that was a bit concerning because it had been quiet in the game. We did go down the left quite a lot. Whether that's just an understanding now that Tav's not got that engine to go forward. Magoma's got that engine to go forward. Defensively, he needs to improve. We understand that, and physical side he needs to work on as well. But if you're going to have a fullback going forward, then you would think it would be Magoma more often now. So we used that pretty well. But for that 5 minutes, it worried me that Tav was right centre half, and he was up that far up the park, just kind of leaving us exposed. Again, I think it was just Tav wanting to be involved in the game because he hadn't been involved as much. But no, you're right, mate. It wasn't comfortable, obviously, at the end, but we dominated most parts of that game. A lot more urgency and intensity, as I said. And Chamiti, I've got to give him credit. Best game in that jersey I've seen so far. So hopefully he takes confidence from that. Whether we see him at the weekend starting or not remains to be seen. But in the back of that performance, you wouldn't be surprised if he's named as a starter now. I know he didn't score, but didn't have anything else but score.
Aye. He didn't have any chances as such, mate. But you've got to see his play was all right, mate. And he made a goal, yeah. So you've got to give credit where it's due. And by the way, I thought it was an okay performance. I didn't think we were outstanding. There's more to come, and obviously, no, we won the match because we scored 2 goals, mate. And that's the problem. We're going to have to, we're going to have to score more goals to make games easier for us.
It's always a comfort blanket, mate, when you score more goals, as we said earlier in the pre-show. If you get goals away early doors, you can start to do some changes and bring on different personnel, get minutes in the legs, and it's a bit less nerve-wracking getting into the last 5-10 minutes, especially if you look back, we're giving away these kind of cheap goals that are avoidable. If it's 3-1, you're not as nervy. 2-1, you are. So if we can start scoring more goals, then it's only a good thing going forward. And you never know, mate, the way this league's going, it could come down to goal difference. There's been seasons before where it's done that. So the more you score, then the less likely you are to concede at the back as well, because most of the play will be in the opposition's half.
Aye. I think you're. We've got to score more goals because we want to win more matches, mate. Yeah.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, because the draws against Dundee and against Falkirk at Ibrox, they 4 points, mate. That's the big ones, arguably. Against teams that maybe no one go to the forum. Yeah.
Aye, that's the ones you look at, especially at home. You would think that's opportunities to get at least maybe 3 or 4-0 victories on the board and get goals in the team, get confidence, points on the board as well. Because when you draw the game, obviously you look at it, you say there are 4 points. If you had the 4 on, mate, we're only 2 off the top, which that's a frustration thing, because you do, when you go on these wins and you get points on the board, you start to close gap, you start to look at games where you haven't won the games, thinking what ifs. But again, the table speaks for itself. We're in the position now, and again, you've got to give the credit to the guys going out and getting the jobs done. But you've got to keep that momentum going. And next game's bigger than the last game tonight.
Aye, of course. Aye. As Bridgman says, the next game's the biggest game of the season, but it is the biggest game of the season, yeah.
100%, mate. And you can look at momentum and stats and form and players and things like that. Old Firm Day, that goes out the window. It's who wants it more. And games, I've always said you don't win titles in these Old Firm games because there's only 4 in my season, but you can go and make a marker, make a statement, get one over on your rivals. And the way they're going and the way we're going just now, certainly we would rustle a few feathers going up there and getting a victory.
Oh, mate, we can go up there and get a victory. It'll be very interesting, mate. Very interesting to see what happens, yeah?
Aye. It could be a game where you look at, mate, and it could just be you've said it already, a momentum shift. You might just see it that something happens, ready to go.
Right, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll hear from the manager, and then we'll ask people to come and join us. Let's hear from your manager, Danny Rowe.
Danny, 3 points at Ibrox, you must be delighted with that.
Yeah, I must say a tough one, not an easy one. I think 75 minutes you controlled really well the game. Good ball possession, aggressive against the ball. Fully deserved the 2-0. We had the chance for the 3-0. And then it's football. Then it's one moment. They make the 2-1. And then you know what happens. Then it's one team has nothing to lose. You have to protect the 2-1. Yeah, and then at the end it's a tight game. You never know what happens, but I must say, yeah, big respect for my team. They put a lot of effort again, and this is the way what we need. Yeah, every time it's about again and again. Be consequent. I think that was also the message in the halftime. We cannot do one more step less. If you do this, then it will be difficult in the second half, and my team did well. Big thank you for the support today. I think it was a pleasure to see. Great atmosphere. I liked really how our fans celebrate today. Yusuf, they recognized the good performance. I think that was a huge step for all of us. And yeah, now the year's over. We say goodbye with 3 points, and we have hopefully a great start in the new year.
Yeah, 2 really good goals, 2 really good deliveries and finishes the match as well.
Yeah, it's also the outcome from Scott. He made a fantastic job. He will be a little bit angry about the conceded goal because it was after set play. But we know this league, it's about score after ball possession, score after transition moments, and score after set play. And we want to improve. We improve at the moment. We're growing as a group. I see players, they stepped up more and more. And if we can continue this in the new year, then we make the next good steps.
Once again, we're speaking about Jack Butland, who came up big once again with the penalty save.
Yeah, outstanding. I think there was one moment in the first half, then a great save. I think it's now 7 or 8 from the last 8 pens or 9 pens. I'm not really sure exactly like this, but this is great. Again, a good performance from him, and I'm just really proud of my team. I think they get all the credits at the moment, what they are doing. The belief is there in the changing room, but we are very ambitious, hungry for more, and this is what we have to continue.
You mentioned Yusuf there. I mean, what pleased you most about his performance tonight?
Yeah, he worked hard for the group. He gives us always a lift. He is the target player in front. He pressed well. He created a lot of good opportunities. And I totally believe if you continue like this work, he will score more and more goals for us. But the first step was, again, today, that he made a good game. And if people and our fans recognize this and see that he can really help us, then he lifts him. He creates more confidence and the belief. And this is hopefully just the beginning from a good process.
Yeah, and on to 2026 now. How excited are you for what lies ahead?
Yeah, a lot of games ahead. We are on a long journey. We know what we have to do. The January, it's also work to do, what we can improve. I think our goal was to close gaps. Since I'm here, we made good steps forwards, but we are still not at the end on our goal. We know this. Let's keep positive, continue our good work, have a good togetherness with our supporters like today in the stadium, and then maybe we can write good stories for the future.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
I don't think he's getting carried away. He's saying all the right things, mate. We know where we are. We know we'll get issues with our team. We know we're short of bodies, mate. Yeah.
He's been honest again. It's one of the things he's done in all his interviews. He's been honest for the large parts of it. Again, he's not getting carried away like ourselves. He always says it. It's one step at a time. We had a setback against Hearts. We've came back from that. We're now in a position to hopefully kick on starting on Saturday. Take the next step.
Aye, it's all about steps, mate. All about steps,
Aye, one step at a time closes the gaps, and before you know it, the gap's closed. And I mean, Saturday's teed up nicely now that you can go level in points with a victory, and that puts the pressure right on other teams as well. Also puts the pressure on us to capitalise and kick on from it. But again, it's the turn of the year. You've got players coming back into the squad. You might have new additions as well. So it's an exciting time. It always seems to be around about this period of time in a football season. But you can only be excited when you're in a position to be excited, and we've got ourselves back there again to just look forward to the new year.
Did you see it coming, mate? Did you see us getting back in it? I mean, last Sunday there, after the Hearts defeat, I think people were thinking, well, it's going to be difficult, and obviously we get a lift, and we have won the 2 games, mate, because after the Hearts game, people are saying, oh, we might not win these 2 games, because we know, for different reasons, everybody's recognised that this guy, Burrable, and they'll do well to keep him, mate, because they're playing some decent stuff. I've not seen the game tonight, of course, but we watched them on Saturday, mate. They're playing some decent stuff. And St Mirren, they're good at what they do. They're a big, strong, physical team who work hard, mate. So we knew that the games would be difficult, and we've took 6 out of 6. Because of the soft underbelly, people thought we've had, and no scoring a lot of goals. We didn't think, but people might have thought we've took that in results. We've got the 3 points back that we lost at Tynecastle, and we're back in it. So it was just tough to keep the momentum going, mate.
That's it. Momentum's a big thing in football, as you know, mate. You take the positives from your last game and you work on the things you need to improve on. You've always got room for improvement. You're never a finished article, and we know what we need to work on. But as I said, the back in a position, did I see it coming? Absolutely not, if I'm being brutally honest, mate, because from when he came in, where the support was, where the team was, the confidence was all-time low. To have 8 wins out of 11 in the league is remarkable, if I'm being honest, because given what you had seen already in the games beforehand, you wouldn't expect that kind of quick turnaround. Yes, there's been blips and there's been moments, but 8 wins out of 11 in the league is some going, considering where this team and a group of players was.
Aye, without a doubt, mate. I mean, they've had a lot of criticism, but you can't say that our form's bad at the moment, yeah? As far as over the Danny Rowe period, it's no bad, is it? We've dropped 7 points since he's been here, mate. A couple of the games have been frustrating. The D United, we should have won. Falkirk Ibrox, I thought we were appalling, mate. Arguably our worst performance of the season.
Aye, and within that as well, there's 6 clean sheets as well, so he's sure things up at the back. Still would like to obviously score a lot more goals than what we're doing, but as we've said already, mate, if you can keep the ball at the net at one end, then you can have a great chance of going win games. But to turn that around in such kind of short space of time with the same group of players who have questioned their mentality, their attitude, their application, and some of them players have been here for a number of years. You've got to give praise and credit where it's due. Whether the players will still be there come the end of the window, come the end of the season, remains to be seen. But where we're at now, mate, it's a remarkable turnaround because, as I said, I don't think anybody would have seen it coming. You may have picked up some points here and there, but to go on the amount of wins we've got in those games is quite something. We're not a finished article, we know that, but we know where we need to improve on. That's the important thing.
Yep, we've been joined by Billy. Evening, Billy.
Good evening, my friends. How we doing?
Evening, Billy.
Aye, Billy, aye. A bit nervy, but aye, decent result.
Perfect, mate. I said last night on the show, Mucker, just win them all night, and then we're right on their coattails. Anything can happen, That's the way it's actually panned out. We go to Parkhead now, mate. With our tails up, and listen, we go there on Saturday and win. Watch the toys coming out the pram hour there. But listen, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Firstly, I'd like to say I've messaged Big Southside, by the way, and I've told him he's due me a score for that daft Super 6. Carry on, so. And
well,
I'm on here.
If you're putting in IOUs, mate, I think he's about $2 grand he owes me, but carry on.
Aye. Listen, I was wondering if you could maybe put one of the wee polls out. We maybe change it for Southside Super 6 to wee man's Robert's correct score prediction. Because you got it bang on tonight. Aye, 2-1. Well played, Robert. Well played, son. Did you hear me betting it?
I don't know if you heard. See, when it went 2-0, I thought, I've got more chance of getting this right than Robert. Because I didn't think St Mirren looked like scoring. And then after that, we just sort of, some of our players ran out of gas, I think, mate, and then we just made it hard for ourselves, didn't we?
Aye. They put a lot. You seen that for the first whistle, Locks. They were right up for the challenge, the way they were moving the ball about and the way they were squeezing as a team, as a unit or apart. They were working their socks off, mate. And listen, what I will say is, and I'm not a great lover of the guy, but fair play to Jermaine tonight. That's one thing about myself. I'll always give credit where credit's due. I thought the guy worked his socks off tonight, and that's the best game I've seen I'm playing in a Rangers jersey, you know, and he just ran out of steam tonight, you know. He's obviously still got a long way to go, but fair play to him, because he showed it, at least showed us something tonight that you can try and nurture out him, or what he's capable of, you know. So fair play to him. But I thought all other park, we were different class. The only thing that really I was a wee bit annoyed at was where the mix up came for Butland, and then he plays a pass out to Tavernier. Tavernier's got his back to the ball, and he gets caught in his Tav's got his coat in his heels, and he's obviously got to go back to where the ball came from, you know. And then that's where we created the problem for, you know. But that said, mate, other than that, I thought we were comfortable all night, early 90 minutes, Rocks. I really did. And even when the subs come on, they done a job, you know. So aye, all in all, it's 3 points, mate. They dropped 3 points, and there's a title race on now.
Aye, we just have to keep winning, Billy. We just have to keep winning.
Yep.
You know,
Yep,
but
that's what it's not.
we need some bodies in, mate. Our squad's wafer thin, mate. Wafer thin.
Aye, exactly, mate. We all know that. We know that, and according to listening to when you listen to the manager there, I think he knows that himself. You know, I think he's actually seen it for a wee while, if I'm honest, Ox. You know, when he's started that traffic light, carry on, but is it called it the green? I don't know what he called it. You know that? What was it he called it?
Aye, traffic light system, mate. Is a
Was it? Aye,
management tool, mate. A management tool, mate.
aye.
Let's just say it. My understanding is he ran out of red trains, mate.
Aye. Listen, we're lacking in quality. We know that, you know, in key areas. So that's where we're just falling short now. He's proven that what he's had at his disposal, you know, that he's actually turned the players into something, or got them believing in what they can actually do, you know. Obviously there's a long way to go in the season. We know that, you know. We're only just halfway in, you know. There'll be more twists and turns in the tail as we go along. But listen, if we go to Parkhead now on Sunday, and we should take absolutely nothing to fear, you know, nothing to fear now going over there, because we all know they've been rank rotten for long enough, eh? They've been papering out the cracks for long enough. So if we can go there now on Saturday and get a victory there, then it's game on, eh? Big time, because when you think about it, we've still got Hearts to play a couple of times. We've still got Celtic to play a couple of times, and also we've got a couple of back-to-back games against Aberdeen. We know what that fixture brings. So it's got to be a tricky wee January for us, but hopefully we can overcome it, mate.
If the league was to split this now, mate, we would only have 3 fixtures against Aberdeen between now and the end of the season, 2 in a week. But if they get back into the top 6, mate, we've got to play them 4 times in the league. Mate, it's just mental, mate. Ever in charge of Scottish football, mate. But that's another debate. Robert, in you come, mate.
Hi, evening, Billy. Unfortunately, I didn't put money on it tonight, mate. I should have done. So I trusted my gut instincts. But unfortunately, I didn't. But no, you're right, mate. I thought over the piece of the game, we were comfortable. I spoke pre-show that as long as we don't make it hard for ourselves, and I think that kind of goal we lost, it's avoidable again. Buckland's just, for me, he's just got to lump it up the park first and foremost, and you don't get the corner. But I think he's still got to come for that ball. I know it's an outswinger. He goes to come for it, and he stops. And I think if he comes for it, he's either going to punch it or collect it. And if he collects it, it's probably going to be a foul.
Puncher, mate. An outswinger's a puncher. Yeah,
it's that close in though, so you probably could just catch it.
If it is an outswinger, mate, and it's gone away from him, that's when you punch it, mate. Yeah,
aye, of course, that's what I'm saying.
Aye, that's when you punch it.
So it's an avoidable goal though.
Bit of coaching there, mate. Bit of coaching. Outswinger punch, in-swinger catch. Sorry, carry on.
I came out, caught it, mate, and then kicked it in a goal. Maybe an own goal right enough, but
Billy, let's just say he makes me look like a giant, so he's no catching anything. Right, carry on.
But no, I agree with Billy. It's another opportunity again, mate. We just spoke about it before you came on, that to be in this position again where we didn't think it was going to be possible when Managerial first came in, and then obviously a few weeks ago, a couple of days ago after the Hearts game, to be right back in it again with a chance to go level with them across the city. It certainly will rustle a few feathers in the January windows here. So you never know who comes in. Obviously going to be hopefully strengthen the squad. And as you say, mate, there's a lot of football still to be played, twists and turns, but as long as we keep in the hunt, or we have people hunting us, we'll be right in amongst it.
Billy, your point at Dimitri, I thought that he was the best of our forward players. I thought
Mhm.
Mikey Moore showed glimpses, but I thought over the piece, Gasman was quiet, and then he does that run in the second half. And you're
Brilliant,
thinking, if he scored, what a goal it would have been, mate. And that's the frustration with people like him. You know there's some talent there, and but after the ball, mate, for me, he doesn't do enough. Asgard's the same, mate. After the ball, the two of them are pretty much passengers. Just the way I see it again. Listen, I don't expect the gas man to win 50-50 tackles. That's not his game. But you've got to go with your runners, mate.
Aye, Ox. That's just bread and butter stuff, isn't it? It's for these players going forward. You can see Asgard's got a bit of football ability about him. You can see what Gasman brings to the party. With his pace and all that, with that brilliant run he done. But you've got to be prepared to do the dirty side of the game, and that means starting back and helping your defenders out and helping your midfielders out when they're struggling. You've got to hear that in your game, because you'll not get away with it. If you let players run off you and you become lazy, you get caught out. And that's where players all get drew out of position. And you start to lose goals and you start to lose your shape in the game. So they two laddies will need to try and get that into their game. And the sooner the better, believe it or not. Because if they start doing that, then we'll improve as a team and they'll improve as football players.
Aye. Robert?
Aye, of course, mate. All these guys who are forward-thinking players, they've still got defensive duties to do. I know it's not the nice side of the game they want to be involved in. They want to be getting the ball to feet, taking men on, creating chances and things, but you've still got a role and a duty to be a defensive unit as well, particularly in transitions and out of possession as well. Be structured, be resolute, and be quite solid and hard to break down. When you win the ball, then you can counter, and these guys can be effective. It's just something that as Billy says, you need to get it into their coaching and their mindsets just to do the dirty side of the game as well. It's not always gung ho as much as we'd love to be always on the front foot, fast pace. There will be times we'll come up against teams that will try and catch us on the break, and you've just got to work your socks back the way as well. Where you take fouls or not, or work it back, tackle, win the ball, retrieve it, and off you go again. You've got pace, as Billy says, to get away from half these defenders in the league. So if you've got that structured unit and they're all doing the same instruction, then you'll have a more compact unit, as I said.
I think Cox, see the perfect example there. What we're discussing is, I remember Wayne Rooney playing with that American team he played, and the team lost the ball, right, for a corner kick, and Wayne Rooney, even at his age, right, for how good a player was he, like him or load him, but what a football player he was. He actually ran half the length of the park, right, and he made a tackle on the centre forward or the winger, and he won the ball, mate, and he drove on and drove the ball back up the park and actually scored for the goal. So that just shows you, even players, world-class players like Wayne Rooney, they were still prepared to do the dirty work in their game, So if players like Wayne Rooney, for example, can put that into their game, even at their age, then surely the guys like Asgard and Gassama and others that are not doing it should just look at him and say, well, as an example, listen, well, if he can do it, that's what I should be doing and all,
I just have to match your runners, mate, and make sure that they're not open for to receive the ball, mate. Because then it becomes difficult for the guy behind you. He ends up with a 2-1, and sometimes he, if he's not having a good game because somebody's not gone with your runners, and that's just part of part of the game, and especially now in the wide. Let's be honest, there's certain positions, if you put a shift wide for the first 60 minutes, you'll get replaced. Because fresh lights will come on, and that's one of my criticisms of the night. Well, maybe not a criticism, but an observation. I think we should have just made our subs about 5 minutes earlier. We needed fresh legs on as the game started turning a wee bit.
Aye. You know, I think you can look at it. You could look at it two ways, Rocks. You can look at it being tired, exactly what you said there, and maybe just making that wee substitution that wee bit quicker. And you can also put it down to tiredness, as I said there. But one thing you can't do, you can't be lazy. You cannot be lazy. If you're not prepared to track back, then I'm sorry, you shouldn't be starting again. You know, especially as a professional football player, you would expect amateur football players to be lazy or let boys run off them. You know, hence that's how they're amateur football players. But no, for professional football players, you know, that's one of the basics that you should take if you're a professional football player. You shouldn't be letting players run off you. And obviously, you've got to get done a few times in that. We're not got to say you're not got to be switched on constantly. You know, you maybe get beat with a bit of brilliance and all that. We accept that. But you can't have any laziness in your game. You've got to go with your runners. It's as simple as that. But you're right, Ox, as well, regarding the substitutions. We did look as if we'd burnt ourselves out, you know, and maybe just, I don't know, maybe it was just leaving it maybe that wee 5 minutes extra just to get a wee bit more time into their legs, Ox, or maybe could have done it a wee bit shorter. You know, the pendulum could have swung anyway, you know, but the bottom line here is, mate, we got the 3 points and we got a cracking 2-1 victory, and that's all we look for.
I'm just giving you my observation. I'm no complaints with the result and the 3 points, mate. We can play like that every game for now to the end of the season, Robert. If we get the same result, performance doesn't matter. Perfect, no, doesn't matter. 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. Yeah. If we know at the end of the season, I'll be delighted, Rob.
100% you would be, mate. 100%. And again, we're not going on here saying that it was the best performance we've seen. But it's another foundation that you can work on. But the most important thing, as Billy says, it's 3 points in the day. It doesn't matter how you play and how you get the points. It's getting the points on the board, which is the main thing. Chamity's a prime example. He's had a lot of criticism. He's turned up the night. He's put a great shift in. As I said earlier on, Billy, the only thing he never done was score. But for him, that's now the foundation for him to go and produce the same again and work on that is a foundation to build on and hopefully a catalyst for him and just start adding goals to his game. I'll need to watch back the positions he was in, as Ox was touching on. I don't know if you saw it, Billy, for set pieces. But I think tonight's performance for him as an individual should give him some confidence, and I think the fans are obviously showed appreciation when he came off as well and recognised his efforts.
Listen, mate. Sorry, Ox.
No, you go, Bill.
Listen, the fans, supporters in the stands, sitting in the house, no matter where you're watching Glasgow Rangers, right? We never miss a trick with these guys, you know, and we'll criticise the guys when they need criticised. Some of it can be over the top at times, like, you know, but I'm all for constructive criticism. You're always got part and parcel of football, mate. You've got to get abuse. That's just the way it is. You know, that's how they get paid the big wages, etc., right? But if you're talking about Chernity in the box, I'm not wanting my centre forward in the box, mate. I'm wanting him up run at the halfway line. You know what I mean? So if you do win the corner, you know what I mean. At least you've got a good out ball there to go and try and hit to get you off the park.
I would have Chernity back, but I wouldn't have Gasman back, mate. Why would you know of him standing at the halfway line?
Well, that's a good shout. I know. I can see your logic there with his pacing that, like, you know, he gets the ball and he's in behind if he's maybe 2-1, and obviously it's you would think if you're leaving Gasman up there, then their defenders at scheme and think, will we shove an extra one up here? Will we leave one on us just to, you know, try to give us a wee bit extra cover there, you know? So that's a good shout. I know, Ox. Gasman up there. I thought what I will say, I know, you know, about Chernity, he showed a bit of character tonight as well, you know, for, you know, all the fans, including myself, been on his case for long enough, you know. So he definitely showed a bit of character tonight, and all. And listen, he'll need that if he's wanting to play with that number 9 jersey on for Rangers. That's a certainty, you know.
He needs to start scoring goals, Billy.
Yes.
He needs to go on a run, mate, and score goals, mate. And then he start looking better. And then, you know, you get away with murder, you score goals, mate. Yeah?
That's right. Yep, absolutely, mate. You know, but listen, Rome wasn't bolting the days of Seahawks, you know. We've paid a lot of money for this guy. You know, I heard people saying, aye, but it's not his fault. They splashed out 8, 9, 10 million pound for him. You know, but listen, it's his fault. He's getting the big wages, you know what I mean? So you're looking for at least that bit of effort off him every game, you know, and if he continues to work hard like that, then you would think that once he's mastered that bit of the game, then you would think, well, you would hope anyway, well, only time will tell on that one, that he'll start to get himself into positions in the box to give himself a chance of scoring, you know. But it's a good option to have, you know. But I'm not going to come on here and turn in and say, aye, listen, he's got to be a proper Rangers number 9 for slagging him off for long enough, you know what I mean? That'd make me out to be a hypocrite. But what I will say is, he's got a long way to go, Chermity, you know what I mean? But fair play to him tonight.
Blue shoots.
Aye, fair play to him tonight, because he definitely worked his socks off, and that's all you can ask, eh?
Arguably our best player, mate. Arguably our best player,
Mhm.
Robert.
I'd say he was, mate. I think you get the Rangers TV man of the match. I don't think you would have many complaints, to be honest with you. Again, he never scored. He needs to obviously start scoring goals, because that's your job as a striker. But when Billy talks about a number 9 and strikers coming for criticism, you only look at Dessers, the abuse he got at times from Marine support, and the criticism, and he kind of turned things around. So if Chimity can produce anywhere near
Different
what
reasons,
Dessers-
mate, but different
Aye,
reasons.
aye, different
Because
reasons, aye.
Dessers, it's his play was the issue. He's not been getting a lot of chances made from. Dessers was mere chances in moments where Dessers, whose goal scoring record statistically is decent, but we all know that there was points where in big games he had bad moments, and that's where his criticism came from. Chimitri, if I'm honest, up to the night, he's not even looked like a football player. And even on Saturday, everybody was talking about falling on the ball, Robert, if you can remember, about
Aye.
Saturday.
I remember Saturday, mate. No, you're right, but I'm just talking about in terms of a mental side of things, of coming in for that kind of criticism and things, and how to shoulder it and weather the storm. And Dessers obviously got his goals where he did. His goal return, as you say, was decent.
Aye.
Different players, different criticism levels. But what I mean is the mentality to shoulder it and go and actually perform still under that pressure, and basically shut us all up, really, and prove us wrong, which we all hope he does. Hopefully he goes on and gets, as you say, a run of games, run of goals, and maybe, you never know, he might even score a win on Saturday.
Yes. Oh, yes. I think if we did get a winner, mate, we did a lot of stretchers for them diving halfway stands, Billy, yeah?
Oh, do you know what, Robert? I was actually thinking about that the night. You know, you must be psychic, Robert, because I thought to myself, and I said to your Billy, I went like, I wonder. I said, see if that big laddie goes and scores a winner on Saturday. I say, see Everton, all the treatment he's had, all the criticism he's had, you know, it all goes away. He could turn his season round. In fact, he could turn his career round, Ox. I'll go as far as saying that if that laddie popped up and scored a winner on Saturday, you know, that's just the way, bizarre as it is, that's just the way football is. Can I ask the twos a wee question about the goal we lost? Do you think, I mean, maybe I'm just nitpicking here a wee bit, but when the boys had the shot, right, Butland's obviously made a good first save, right? Do you think he could have done better on the first save? Maybe tried to put it over the ball then for the second one. When I think he's been got to beat a wee bit of his near post. Or do you think the Rangers players to the left hand side him could have maybe have done better and backed him up there? Or bailed him out?
I thought our setup was poor, mate. I thought he should have came and punched it when I've no watched it back. I get what you're saying about once he comes back, mate, it becomes a point blank save. I think it becomes a good save, mate.
Mhm.
And then you're relying on a bit of luck for it to get cleared. We've only switched on. And if you watch all our setup, mate, I've only seen it twice. I need to watch it again, mate. We're facing the wrong way. We've got guys going the wrong way. I don't know what the set piece coach is doing, mate. I really don't. Yeah. with no height at the back post. We had some big players set up. Everything was rank. Have a look, Billy. Have a look. But no, I wouldn't have blamed Butland for that. Yeah, he could have maybe done better with a second, but I think he'd fell and he was sort of trying to get back up and it just sort of come off and ended up in the back of the net. He could have maybe got it, but nah, I need to watch it again to really make my mind up now that you're not watching the heat of battle. Last word, Robert.
I just think it was a quick reaction save, as you say, Docs. The initial save, and just some other players reacted quicker than any other players in the box, but I think it's avoidable before it even gets to that point. But still,
Been a
we win.
corner, mate. Shouldn't have been
3
a
points.
corner. Shouldn't have been a corner. Last word for your good self, Billy. Then Robert.
No, thanks very much, Rox, for taking my call, troops. Like to wish you all a happy new year when the bells come tomorrow night, and really looking forward to the game now on Saturday with a bit of confidence. Just before I go, I want to put Robert on the spot here, Rox, if I may. What's your prediction for Saturday, Robert? Because I'm sick betting Southside's throwing money to Southside, so want to know what your prediction is. And maybe have a wee flutter on that, mate. So right on the spot now.
2-0, Moore in Chermiti.
Oh,
There you go.
Oh, that's any price you want, mate.
There you go.
You'll shut
2-0, Moore in Chermiti.
You'll shut the bookies down if that comes up.
I'll begin Southside a betting book for the next year.
Oh, no bother, mate. I'll remember that, Matt. I'll remember that. 2-0 to the famous and Mikey Moore and Mikey Moore.
Southside's got one of the old-fashioned ready reckoners, mate, when you have all the odds and you can count your bets up. He's never used it.
A ready reckoner? I've not heard that for ages. Small man used to have one of them, so he did.
Oh, no, everybody. I think the bookies used to get about once a year, didn't they?
Already reckoner. I had a trip down memory lane. Brilliant. Oh, cheers, mate.
Right.
All the best, lads.
Cheers, Billy. Robert.
Cheers, Billy. Aye, good show, isn't it, mate? Obviously, good to get a victory in the end of the year on a high with 3 points on the board. Looking forward to Saturday. Big opportunity. Just like to wish yourself, tech guys, and everybody out there listening, a happy new year when it comes. And let's hope it's a successful happy new year for the Rangers.
Yeah. Can I thank another two guys, another year on Rangers Radio? That'll be Fox and Old School Blue. Without, there's no show, mate. They're the guys who make it possible for everybody to come on here. Debate, talk, laugh, joke, cry, whatever we do at the time. But thanks to the two gentlemen, because they're gentlemen, for making sure we have a show. Thanks to all our listeners. I hope that everybody had a good Christmas and I hope they have a better new year. Rangers Radio will be back on Friday for a one-hour show between 8 and 9. Obviously, Friday the 2nd of January, remembering the 66th. And then we'll be getting the Battle Fever on for Saturday. We'll be playing them. So all the best to everybody. Hope you enjoy your night and all the best for 2026. Thanks for listening. Take it away, Foxy Boy.